Fox News alert, Iran's out of business. They lost the Strait, and the only way to get through to them is to yell.
Have you been negotiating a lot all day? I mean,
Yeah.
Is that why your voice is hoarse?
I've been screaming at Iranians all day, yes. A little bit of a laryngitis because of my I've been screaming at Iranians.
So the
You know
Iran
why?
leadership
You know
you're
why?
screaming at?
You know why? Because that's the only thing they understand. They don't understand being nice. They understand the way I have to do business. I treat all people differently.
The president's being loud and clear. Deal or no deal?
If there's no deal, would you be willing to extend the ceasefire, or will the fighting resume, Mr. President?
I would say the fighting. If there's no deal, fighting resume.
The Iranian economy's a dead raccoon. The naval blockade's working like a finely tuned machine. The commander-in-chief says the blockade's better than the bombs.
The blockade has been incredible. It's held. They're not doing any business. They're unable to do any business because of the blockade. And so the combination of having no Navy, having no Air Force, having no anti-aircraft equipment, they have nothing. Everything is gone, including their leaders. Now they have a new set of leaders, and we find them very reasonable.
Since blockade day, 14 ships leaving Iranian ports. We made them do a 180. Not a single ship has slipped the quarantine. Here's a sailor on board the USS Michael Murphy, one of our destroyers in the Gulf of Oman, telling a merchant vessel, do a U-ey.
Motor vessel Molly, this is warship 112. We will be escorting you to your next port of call. Thank you for your cooperation. This is warship 112, standing by at channel 16.
The regime's not even testing the blockade anymore. In 4 days, we've killed their trade, and now they can't get paid. Here's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Raisin Kane.
As we started this blockade, there were 7 ships of interest that were of concern for U.S. Central Command. 2 hours and 40 minutes into the blockade, as attempted blockade runners attempt to hop the line. And immediately these runners began to see, sense, and feel America's combat power compressing upon them. We're now 24 hours plus into the blockade. You can see the turning around of multiple ships, 12 of which stayed inside the blockade line, one of which not depicted off to the eastern side, turned around before even attempting it.
First it was the Air Force, now it's the Navy. What a two-punch combo.
The United States Navy controls the traffic going in and out of the Strait because we have real assets and real capabilities. And we're doing this blockade, performing it with less than 10% of America's naval power. The math is clear. We're using 10% of the world's most powerful Navy, and you have 0% of your Navy. That's real control.
They said Trump went to war without a strategy. But a 5-week air campaign, followed by a 5-day blockade, has the Iranians praying to Allah. And these destroyers aren't like the Coast Guard. They're armed to the teeth.
Over 500 feet long, they displace 9,000 tons, and it is the sports car of the United States Navy. They stand nearly 10 stories tall, and their 4 gas turbine engines can drive the ship at 30-plus knots. These ships are armed to the teeth with surface-to-air missiles, land attack cruise missiles, anti-ship missiles, anti-submarine rockets, torpedoes, 5-inch naval guns, multiple electronic warfare systems, embarked helicopters, extending the reach and capability of each and every one of these destroyers.
You probably wouldn't hand a teenager keys to a sports car, but the boys on board are real men.
Far and away, the most important weapon on board these ships is the American sailor. These ships are run by the youngest sailors in our surface warfare Navy. The helmsman, the sailor on the watch at the bridge, is normally just between 18 to 19 years old, and they are trusted to drive this warship through that supermarket parking lot without hitting anything.
Also participating in the blockade, the USS Tripoli. Marines on board have been conducting live trainings, rappelling from choppers, close combat drills. They're ready to board a ship by force and take her. On top of that, the USS Gerald Ford, operating in the Mediterranean, just broke a record. The longest carrier deployment since the collapse of the Soviet Union. The Ford went from capturing Maduro in the Caribbean to smoking the Ayatollah in the Middle East. and the blockade just went global.
In addition to this blockade, the joint force, through operations and activities in other areas of responsibility, like the Pacific area of responsibility, will actively pursue any Iranian-flagged vessel or any vessel attempting to provide material support to Iran. This includes dark fleet vessels carrying Iranian oil.
So if any Iranian ship in any body of water, they're subject to seizure. The Iranian economy is getting squeezed like a boa constrictor. We spent 5 weeks bombing over 17,000 targets, including factories, rail, roads, ports, steel, research labs, gas fields, petrochemical facilities, even Iranian big pharma. These are the core pillars of employment and production in Iran. The Journal says it's going to cost $250 billion to rebuild, trillion. And because of the blockade, no new money's coming in. Time's on Trump's side.
This embargo is squeezing the economic life out of the Iranian regime, and the United States has the capacity to continue this indefinitely if Iran chooses the wrong path.
Iran's facing economic calamity. 12 million jobs, half of Iran's workforce, is set to get doged. They can't rebuild themselves, and they can't import anything. Time's also on our side because we're gathering intelligence. The ceasefire gave us a tactical advantage to spy on the Iranians. We're watching them dig out of their tunnels these mobile missile launchers that have been covered in rubble. Well, that just gave us a new target set.
You are digging out your remaining launchers and missiles with no ability to replace them. You have no defense industry, no ability to replenish your offensive or defensive capabilities. You only have what you have. You know that, and we know that. You can move things around, but you can't actually rebuild. You can dig out for now, but you can't reconstitute. But we can. We are reloading with more power than ever before.
The ceasefire gave both sides a break, even though they needed it a lot more than we did. It played right into our hands, with bridge and power plant day still hanging over their heads.
We are locked and loaded on your critical dual-use infrastructure, on your remaining power generation, and on your energy industry. We'd rather not have to do it, but we're ready to go at the command of our president and at the push of a button.
The Iranians can't afford to sustain any more damage. Plus, they just lost one of their favorite weapons, their proxies. Hamas and the Houthis, they've been AWOL, and Israel and Lebanon just signed a 10-day ceasefire. That includes Hezbollah.
Israel and Lebanon have tried to make peace before. What's going to be the difference this time?
Me. I'm the difference. Big difference. Me.
So the Iranians can't fight back, can't rebuild, can't trade or make money. And they can't communicate because they're underground without command and control, phones, and Wi-Fi. But the deal that's probably on the table is sanction relief, the West will invest, if they give up every single ounce of uranium.
Very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bombers. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
The president's bullish right now on a deal. So bullish, he might even fly across the world to put his Sharpie to a treaty.
I would go to Pakistan, yeah. Pakistan has been great. They've been so good. Islamabad, I might go. Yeah, I might go. If the deal is signed in Islamabad, I might go. The field marshal has been great. The prime minister has been really great in Pakistan. So I might go. They want me.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.